Hi everybody, welcome to CastorsCorner.com. I'm your host Khalil, here for another toy of the day. We are in the high 60s. We're almost at 170. It's kind of insane. And that means we're almost at 6 months, which is equally as insane. And so wrapping up this week, Sunday night, just kind of, I'm tired. There's no other way around it. I'm looking around the room and going, all right, I got to start digging. I got some new stuff. I got new stuff coming next week, so I'm not going to have to dig for long. You go to CastorsCorner.com for a small gallery of these guys. There wasn't a lot to shoot, but still want to talk about them. Although, I take that back. There is a lot to shoot. My space is just a mess. Like you see the curated look right now. With like the nice stuff, standing in the background, But what is around me, however, is a whole nother. You can see the Fortnite bus like hanging out over there, right there. You can see another box of stuff that hasn't been unpacked yet, and like the pile starting to grow. So yeah, go to castorscorner.com for all of our stuff. You can follow us. We are at Castors Corner. You can check out the Cornercast podcast. We recorded 3 this weekend, which I am excited to be able to put up. We've got our friend Benjamin David from Batman. Benjamin David, who is part of Above and Batman Beyond. Sorry, completely was trying to get the wording right for it. Hopkins is back to talk about the state of whether or not we're entitled as collectors. And then it's Dan Hu from YouTube and Instagram. We're excited to be able to do our first international guest. So it's been a good weekend. Just been doing a lot of recording and setting up recordings for next weekend too. So it's been busy. It's been very, very busy. So our toy of the day is the newest wave of Fortnite guys. We did Brutus and Cyclo and the Shadow Henchman. He's coming out as a single pack, but we did it as the build a figure, build a character, build a henchman, whatever you want to call it, and Supersonic. But Bash and the Renegade Shadow, we didn't get yet, and we just got those. Bill was able to pick up the Shadow. Actually, the Renegade Shadow was picked up. Bill texted me and was like, "Do you need one?" And I'm like, "Yes," as I was looking at one, but he had already bought it. So thank you, Bill, for picking that up. And today's review is dedicated to our friends Little Geek Ninja and Little Geek Zombie, who are desperately awaiting the arrival of Deathstroke or Slade in the Fortnite game. So I am right there with you guys and can't wait to play as him, so we'll have to team up. So we got the Renegade Shadow and we got Bash. And I think what's different for me is like I love this line. I really feel like I know everybody's like it's a kid's line or it's goofy or it's stupid or any number of things talking about Fortnite in general. It's a dead game, blah 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 blah. People go on and on about it, but I think it's one of the best things to come out of pop culture in like the last 10 or 15 years. And I know that sounds very, very lofty or very boastful about it, but I really think it is because it has inspired figures, right? We got a completely masked up guy. I wish they had done an unmasked version or give us an alternate head. That would have been one of those cases. He's actually one of the few Fortnite original characters that I have bought within the game. He fits with the theme, the Shadow versus Ghost theme. He looked really cool. He has a lot of options for looks within the game, and I really wish they'd give him his unmasked look for here. And then like a rainbow unicorn with a chainsaw axe. I mean, listen, G.I. Joe couldn't have been this cool in the 80s if it tried. I applaud the creativeness that they have taken pop culture over the last 40 years and turned it into this amalgamation of Marvel and DC Predator and Alien. What else? Lara Croft, so Tomb Raider, Marvel, DC, Star Wars. I mean, Terminator. Everything's part of it. GI Joe. Everything is part of this world now, thanks to them putting in these characters. Um, and it's one of those things where I remember growing up and seeing like these really cool designed characters, and those are the things that stuck with me. GI Joe did not stick with me as much as Silverhawks and Visionaries and Inhumans, um, Bionic Six. Those really Thundercats, like even He-Man to an extent. I think He-Man and Transformers and GI Joe, there's a nostalgia factor for them, right? And there's a recognition for them, and it's kind of like I've been buying them since 1983 and or 82, and I'm not going to stop now. But there isn't this reverence for them. They seem kind of plain in a lot of different ways. Um, and I know people are going to disagree with me, but like Optimus Prime was a red truck, and when he transformed, he was a red robot. Bumblebee was a yellow bug. When he transformed, he was a yellow bug. But when you look at the characters like Bionic Six, and you look at the Silverhawks, and you look at Thundercats, you see like these different, very, very stylized, different designs. And even though GI Joe was the village people for 5-year-olds in the 80s, it didn't have that cool. The villains did. I think the villains had some really cool gimmicks to them. But I mean, all the characters in Fortnite, like all the original stuff that isn't just like Jonesy or Maya, where you can really kind of look at like how cool this unicorn looks. Like it's a really cool, fun look. And whether or not I know his backstory, which I don't, or I don't know if there actually is backstory for a lot of these characters. Some of these guys there are when you look at the themes for the season. But I think that's what makes these so much fun. And once you start playing the game, it changes. You know, there's something different. There's something different every week. There's something different in every match. You're also playing with a group of people, and you can choose to play with people against you, or you can choose to play with them as a team. And I think that all those things take what started for me in the early 80s. You know, if you look at 82 and He-Man and Thundercats and or Transformers and GoBots and all that stuff, and then you fast forward to like 87, 88 when we got Nintendo, and you take all the stuff from the 80s and you were to put it in a machine and it would just spit out something that you can enjoy. It's what Fortnite is. And Jazwares has done what I don't think Hasbro, Mattel, or any of the big companies could have done with this line. These are really well articulated, really well designed, a lot of original parts, a lot of original deco, you know, different, like, I'm pretty sure if Mattel or Hasbro had done Bash here, he would have a lot less colors on his head. He just would. They wouldn't have it. Or he'd be missing his rainbow on his chest piece. There would be so many different cuts that they would have to make to this character to make him work. And I think that really sets this apart. I never really got into the 6-inch Jazwares line. I think the price point for these guys at $10 is also like this sweet spot where you get you get one of their harvesting tools and them. I think it's perfect. $10, you got it. It's bigger and you get more accessories than the Hasbro Retro line or the Hasbro Star Wars Retro line or the Marvel Retro line. So I think there's value in it too, and they're changing the packaging. So these clamshells, we saw a Ghost Henchman. He's not on this package, but we saw it packaged pre-Eternia on Instagram, showed it. We still have a few more, I think, in this packaging, but they will be changing to a card back. So cardboard. So I always hate when people do that, when they change, like radically change the packaging. But I mean, for in the package collectors, but I mean, for me, this is just going to go into the recycle bin. So there's at least one more of these lines, one more of this wave, I think, coming. I blindly ordered like $300 worth of Fortnite stuff on Amazon, waiting for them to add pictures and descriptions so I know what I actually ordered. Um, and coming for this year between playsets and single cards and all this other stuff. So I guess it's to say that I still am buying these figures because they are more original and a little bit more fun to pose and play with than some of the stuff from the major retailer or major manufacturers. Um, so you can pick up Bash and Renegade. Uh, they're popping up in stores. I saw them in the same day. I saw them at Target and Walmart. So they're popping up just about everywhere. And GameStop. I think Bill found the Renegade Shadow at GameStop. But they're popping up everywhere, and hopefully that means that the next wave will also pop up before they change it. Because I always hate that those waves that happen the last wave before the new packaging shows up is always a problem. So hopefully we'll get links and some of those other ones, or they'll carry them forward into future waves. But you should see a change in the next few months. Although Jazwares isn't doing interviews like they usually do, so we don't know. No Toy Fair means we don't have info like we usually get. But anyway, that is all to say. I really like these. I think they're a really good addition to the line. Nice and colorful. New harvesting tools. And that's about it. So thank you guys for watching. You can check out our small gallery of these guys on castorscorner.com. You can follow us. We are at Kastor's Corner. Make sure you hit the subscribe button somewhere on this screen. The more of you that subscribe, the more cool things we get to do, and then we get to share them with you. And that's the best part of this journey. And don't forget to check out the Cornercast podcast, where we talk all about toys and collecting. So thank you guys for joining us for another Toy of the Day here on castorscorner.com. Have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow for a whole new one.